Google employees are confessing all the things they hated most about working at Google. And this is important because we're going to find out who really is deleting our videos, who really is changing the search engine algorithms to basically go against us, the alternative media. A job at Google, it's career heaven, right? How could a gig at the biggest, most ambitious tech company on the planet possibly be bad? Well, take a look at this Quora thread, which is being constantly updated by current and former Google employees to dish the dirt on working for the search giant. Turns out that working at Google isn't all free food and bike rides around campus. What a shocker. Take their complaints with a grain of salt. These are the complainers after all, but we've heard many of these same things from our own sources. I don't know why they put that there, but okay. You were given everything you could ever want, but it cost you the only things that actually matter in the end. Ooh. Just what things actually matter in the end? There's only one, and that's your soul. Joe Canella, former senior account manager. Basically, you end up spending the majority of your life eating Google food, with Google coworkers, wearing Google gear, talking in Google acronyms, sending Google emails on Google phones, and you eventually start to lose sight of what it's like to be independent of the big G, the Freemason G. Let me just interject that in there. And every corner of your life is set up to reinforce the idea that you would be absolutely insane to want to be anywhere else. To which the majority of folks will say, boo-hoo, you poor spoiled Googler. But that's sort of the point. You are given everything you could ever want, but it costs you the only things that actually matter in the end. It's hard to be honest with your colleagues. Vlad, former software engineer, it's really hard to discuss any issue unless it is your friend you are talking to. Objective discussions are pretty rare since everybody's territorial and not interested in opinions of other people unless those people are important gods. Really? I think we're getting where this is going. No one believes you if you say it isn't awesome. Katie Levinson, former software engineer, infrastructure. People feel justified asking you why you left or if you still work there, and insist that everything must be perfect. They don't want to hear anything unless it's total enthusiasm. For your luck, getting anything other than rainbows and ponies to talk about. Nearly everybody, from my mother to my cab driver, pretty much demands you explain why you'd be anything less than thrilled to work at Google. They can hire the very best people, so everyone is overqualified. Anonymous. There are students from the top 10 colleges who are providing tech support for Google ad products or manually taking down flagged content from YouTube. The most indoctrinated people into this system and society. The people who potentially have gone to Skull and Bones schools are the ones who are flagging and taking down content from YouTube. They're overqualified, they're too educated, they're indoctrinated, incorporated into the big G, and they're the ones who are deleting our YouTube videos and removing us from search engines. Really? That says a whole lot, doesn't it? We've been wondering for so long and thinking that maybe it's just an algorithm. They've coded this to where it would be tough for a lot of people. Especially if you talk about anything that is anti-Google or controversial to YouTube or, the real world. They're the ones who are taking down the videos. They're the ones who are flagging them. I want you to think about that because they do not have a life, as I was admitted earlier. They are totally indoctrinated into Google, and anything that goes contrary to Google, the video is flagged. And what I mean by contrary to Google or contrary to YouTube is basically the reality that if you're not thinking about artificial intelligence, the future, how wonderful the future is going to be when we can edit our own freaking DNA and whatever and designer babies and all this other crap, and that, if you're anti-one world government, it's going to be flagged. That's why they're taking down videos. Really? Middle management is dangerously political, anonymous. The most obvious areas that this political nature manifests itself is in performance management and recruiting. The amount of horse trading and manipulation that a manager needs to do to be able to manage their team within the system, as it was, I understand that it's recently changed somewhat, is morale breaking. To promote someone, you need to start making a case about a year in advance, and because of the curve, that means you can't really give as much credit to other people on your team. There are too few bozos. There are enough talented people that being talented won't guarantee you an inside track on good projects because there are thousands of equally smart people ahead in the queue and equally underutilized. But there are just enough bozos that you have to prove that you're not one of them, said a former engineer. What I want to go through here is, again, important gods, Google gods, they believe they're gods. That's pretty bad. And of course, they're the ones who are flagging and taking down our YouTube content. There are thousands of overqualified, indoctrinated from the top 10 colleges who are flagging content on YouTube. Again, these are people who are very, 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 very smart. And again, they go to Skull and Bones style schools. Interesting, to say the least. That's all I've got for you. God bless and carry on.